Hello, Christopher.
Hello, Jessica.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Chronicles of Chiron, the Lion, the Witch, and the Healer. My name is Christopher. I'm the AstroMedium. That is,
I am Jessica Tanzel, medium, spiritual teacher, and healer. And I'm so excited tonight because we're going to talk a little bit about
we're going
healing
to talk some
modalities
shit.
and talk some shit like always. Let's
Yes,
talk shit first. Let's,
yes. Let's talk
how's your
shit
life? What you
first.
been going? What you been doing?
Well, I am currently getting ready to go on my own healing journey. For those of you who are familiar with, well, I'm already on it, take another trip into a new pathway. In about 3 weeks, Saturn will return to the point where he was in the sky where I was born, and I'm going to officially be right in the middle of my Saturn return. And I'm also going through a lot of Chiron stuff. Speaking of Chiron, everybody, for those of you who are not aware, Chiron is the loving but sometimes brutal, wounded healer in astrology. And Jessica and I are here to share some healing tips with you through that lens. Chiron in the sky right now is still at 5 degrees of Aries. He will be in Aries for a long time. Aries is actually the sign he stays in the longest because his orbit is really weird. It's not like this, it's like this. So so people go through Chiron transits at different times, and it's an elliptical orbit and it's erratic, but when it hits, and it's time to heal, and it's about transmuting other energies into new energies. It's not about getting rid of something. You're born with these wounds or these insecurities, and it's about turning it into a gift and not just dealing with it, but actually reframing your perspective on it and turning it into something new, which is how we as healers or spiritual folk turn energy into something else, whether it's physical healing, emotional healing, whether I'm working with someone in a reading. We're actually taking energy and we're manipulating that energy and turning it into something else. It's not going away. The angels aren't taking it away. They're actually transmuting the energy. And if you see it differently, you heal yourself. So that's what it's all about. So Chiron, we've got a lot of Chiron activity this year. And just so everyone knows, to a little bit of a framework, this year's going to be very erratic, electrical in nature. Okay, things are going to happen suddenly. There's going to be shocking things happening on the world stage. Lots of changes to our life that are coming and going, happening very fast. A lot of ungrounded energy. But underneath all of that is an opportunity and a potential to heal. We've got Jupiter making a sextile to Chiron right now, and Saturn about a degree away. So he's now making a sextile to Chiron as well. And they're going to travel throughout 2021 together, holding hands like that, offering that olive branch to you. So tonight, I really want to talk about some different healing modalities since we're going to be talking about healing. You are a healer. Tell me what kind of healing that you do.
Actually,
It keeps growing, it keeps evolving. So I'm like, I may not even know.
so on my website, it will say energy healing. I use and teach Reiki, and actually, I've seen through the awakening a lot of people looking to learn it and have asked me to teach that one-on-one, and also a lot of unexpected people that have awakened are looking to it for healing. So I use Reiki which is a universal life force energy healing work. So it's channeling that life force energy through your hands and providing that
Would this
energy to
life
the
force
body.
energy be the same thing as chi or prana?
It is chi,
Okay. And I'm actually asking that. As much as I'm into all of this stuff, Reiki is still something I've kept at a distance. It has not resonated with me for myself. I've had it done, but for me to practice it, I have not been pulled in that direction. So I'm very curious.
And spirit is like pushing it, my way towards me, and I have been called for it. In fact, I am a Reiki master, so I teach Usui Reiki, and there are different types of Reiki. And as you go up in levels, you get more symbols to channel more power of that universal life force energy.
So tell me, what is you said Usui?
Usui.
So Usui?
It's yes, so it's a form of Reiki, and it's the name of one of the master teachers.
Oh, I see. So it's his kind of niche form of it.
Yes.
So
So
tell me a little
the
bit about that.
Reiki itself in the beginning was very small. And then when a certain teacher took it over, it kind of spread more
Like
worldwide.
yogas and things like that. Yeah.
But there are different methods. So I use Usui Reiki. And so I will do the healing on the body, but also the healing on the aura. So
Uh-huh.
our energy field and the things hanging out there. And I clear out the blockages in the chakras. And that's my favorite work, is balancing chakras. And I get a lot of information in a session with me.
Now, is that part of Usui Reiki, or is that something that you incorporate into it?
It's part of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
It is part of, so once you get to a third level, we start working with the chakras and things like that. The aura, the whole time.
Well,
Chakras came up later, but
I
I
honestly don't know. How did you get into all of that? How did the Reiki thing happen on top of being a medium and a psychic? And how did Reiki make its way in there?
So the teacher that I worked with offered that, and I just kind of jumped in. I was very much a yes for what she was teaching in general, and it was something that I went ahead and jumped in on. I did not feel like in my first classes I got enough information, so I took from another teacher as well.
Right.
And from there, I just kind of let spirit lead the way. And now more than ever, it's what I use in my energy healing. But there are other methods of energy healing. I happen to use Reiki, but I also use crystals in mine, essential oils, drumming.
This is customized to you.
Yeah, I customize it to me. And I use my wands, my wooden wands that Thomas Freeze has made, so
Ooh,
I
very
incorporate
nice.
all of those healing with the Reiki, and even when I'm drumming, because my drumming is a big piece in the Reiki and the essential oils. If you all do a ceremony with me, I include those in my moon ceremony. So the healing is actually really powerful, and I have done most of my healing. I've used Reiki, and I've used spiritual coaching and healing through mine. And also, we were going to talk about, different comparisons to the Reiki. And let me say this: the Chi, the Ki, the Reiki, the Ki is.
Got you. Key. Yes. Yeah. Like Qigong. Yeah. Yes. I got you. Very good. Well, there's all kinds of energy healing out there now. And I think we put things in boxes as humans, and we call something this package deal, and energy just comes in so many different forms, and beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And so we're all creating something different as much as we're creating all of this collectively. And we're participating in this all together. But what makes Reiki, or let's put everything that Reiki is under an umbrella, all of them, because I'm sure they all have a common thread. So there might be some that are rogue. I'm not sure. I've had Reiki done by somebody who said, I don't do it like everybody else. I do it my way. And I was just like, okay, like, is it even Reiki now? I don't know, but I did feel things. So I felt energy moving from one side of the body to the other. And it wasn't like I just sat there and was like, what's happening? I felt things, but I've had other types of healing done as well. Yeah. So why would someone go for Reiki other than, of course, DNA light activation or channeled healing? I've had energy healing, shamanic healing. I've had that done as well. So, and I did see a big difference with that. So tell me how Reiki would work. And
so I would tell you to follow your gut. If you're like, do I go with Reiki, or do I go with light activation or DNA activation? I'm going to feel a feeling to be pulled towards one or the other. So I'm going to tell you always to follow your intuition. And also, and I say that because I know somebody who comes to me for readings, but goes to somebody else for healings. And I love that because I love getting light activation healing myself.
Right.
I personally, on which healings I'm guided to, it may be different every month. I do my Reiki on me every day. Now, why Reiki than the other ones? No matter.
Do you use that to clear your energy? Is that what you're doing every day?
Say again.
Do you use that to clear your energy?
My home,
Oh,
my
cool.
energy, my property, my business. I use it every day. I activate it every day. I run it through my chakras. I clear my home and my property. I cleared my property so well one time. And so you clear it, I clear it out to the property line. I was like, don't let anybody near that needs to be here, right? And you put the magic out there and you just don't know.
Right.
So I went outside one day to leave early for work one morning, and there was a carton of eggs, like that big ass one, in the driveway, but at the edge. And I thought, well, that was weird. I protected our house and two beside it. Every other house on the street and their cars got egged. Ours, it just dropped. It is powerful. And Reiki
Yes.
knows where to flow. If Chris and I were to sleep next to each other at Journey, and I had my hand on you, like on your back, I wouldn't have to activate it. If you needed it, it would flow. And
Mm.
also, I ask for permission every time I use it, and that's very important. So Chris might say, hey, my friend Joe's really suffering from depression and he needs Reiki. Will you send it? I would love to. And I
Okay,
need.
now you really, really, really got my attention. Okay. So, because I never really thought about it that way. So, people say, oh, I'm sending you love and positivity, I'm sending you good vibes. But from what this sounds like to me, because I'm very science minded, and some people watching may be science minded as well, they're going to want to know, why should I come to you and not the chiropractor? Why should I come to you and not the ear, nose, and throat doctor? Why should I come to you, and etc.? I would recommend integrating both, but there's components of each that. So basically, from what it sounds, Reiki can focus the energy and it's more intentional. And instead of sending kind of a blob of something, it has a specific frequency. So it's more able to be perceived or received.
It is easy. It's very easy to receive because even if the person is like, I mean, I don't care, I don't believe in it anyway, and I sent it, it's going to go where it needs to go. So it doesn't matter if I believe it or not, it's going there because I had the permission to flow it. However, I recommend multiple healers. I see a chiropractor for regular care once
Mhm.
a month, typically. It may have been a few months. I hope he's watching. And I go to my doctor when I need to, but I don't
Right.
go for anything I don't need to go for. And I feel like it's important to use both. And here's an example why. I saw somebody today, this wonderful hearted older male, and he called me on this is his last ditch effort. I don't know what else to do. My back hurts. I'm doing the doctor, I'm doing the medication, and I'm not having success.
Mhm.
I can't do, they've said no to this. So he said, I need to try something else. I was like, come try it. Let's do it. Let's see if it works, and let's see how often you need it. It's not a one and done. Sometimes it might be,
Right.
depending on what you're going through, it might be, hey, why don't you come back when those symptoms start to come back? So it might be 2 weeks, might be a month, might be 3 months. I'm hoping he gets a long time. But when people are trying things and it's not working, what else is going on? Because we're talking about the chiropractor's doing physical, and I love that holistic approach. I'm down for it. I love my doctor, and she's down for me to do weird shit too. So
Mhm.
find somebody that works for you that's willing to let you try something else. The doctor and the doctor, they're going to give you medication. That medication will go wherever. It doesn't know where to go.
Right.
Your chiropractor is going to move your body for you. It's going to get it back in place, and then your muscles go right back. So you have to train it with exercise. With Reiki, what else is going on in that back? And why is it only around your root chakra?
Mhm.
What has happened that's messed with the root chakra, the tribe, the support system, the family, the being grounded, the
Security.
feeling that I'm accepted in my tribe?
Mhm.
So because when I work with the chakra energy, and they show it to me different ways, like sometimes I might see a chain, and you'll see me in my healing, I'm like, let me just pull this chain out out of here. People be thinking I'm weird as shit if they watched it. Like, so I just go with it because I'll see a chain or something like that in the root chakra, and I'm like, okay, let me unravel this.
And the unraveling of it, even doing it physically, just like the way that people pray and count on beads, and it's when we act it out and when we physicalize it in some way, just like dance, we're moving the energy and we're focusing our energy. This makes sense to me. Just like sending the Reiki versus just, well, I can just think fondly of you. You know, sending Reiki feels a little bit more organized or efficient.
Reiki is a specific healing.
Right.
You know, it's a specific healing that you can be taught and you can be attuned to, and I can do that. But what Spirit told me was like, Chris can do a healing for you. His will look different than mine. He might have his hand on his heart and he's telling you all kinds of stuff coming to him. Chris will do a different kind of energy healing. And what I tell my clients when they do a reading with me, when they do a mediumship or a spiritual session, and we're doing an art session, my Reiki is flowing anyway. It is already going. I don't have to have you on my table to do a Reiki energy healing. You come see me for a session, it's happening because it's already flowing. Unless your higher self is like, nah, we're good. We don't need it. And
well, shit, that better be in the fine print.
your higher self, you may not accept it because maybe there's a process you have to go through.
Yes, I was thinking about that as well. So there are factors that come into play. And just like, you know, when you were talking about his back earlier, I'm thinking, well, there's obviously some kind of shutdown or emotional component to that. So can Reiki get in there and break up those emotional patterns, which is not going to, gosh, kind of like the way they're showing it to me is like a tattoo removal. Okay, you're going to get the tattoo removed, but there's multiple sessions because there's multiple layers, and so that's how I think they just answered my question. But
yeah. Well, and it's shaking it up, so it's like
shaking it up, so he could do something differently with it.
And what I see is I'm moving that stagnant energy. Sometimes I'm literally doing this to get that chakra moving again. And so, and that's when my, you know, my weird breathing and all of that comes in, the sound healing. So it's getting the stagnant energy moving, the stuff that's like gotten stuck from that one time in childhood when we got yelled at, or more traumatic stuff, right? So it helps to pull that chain out and it kind of brings it to the surface, just like when we get in our medicine journeys, it shakes up our cells, it shakes up our system. So Reiki is a different way. So Reiki is a different way to journey because it's going to bring stuff to the surface. So, you know, somebody might in the next couple of days be like, what the hell did you do? In fact, some people, I had somebody tell me, she was like, I just slept for 24 hours. Is that normal? And it was like, yeah, for you it is. For you, yeah. For you it is. And I've done shamanic healing work too with Gina Millard, with Jeff Carter, and
yes,
they are amazing.
Amazing. And I resonate with shamanic work. There's something about it that I'm drawn to the way you're drawn to Reiki. And so I think I'm going to resonate with that more. I think, I mean, that would make sense to me because those healings have been the most profound. But there's also different healing, physical healing, energy healing. Like when it comes to Reiki, it sometimes confuses me. It's kind of like which direction you should go in and what would one expect? Like when you go to a Reiki, like I'm going to put it all out there. Okay. Everybody's different. Everything is different. You're going to resonate with this person. You're going to, we get all that. Okay. But if someone goes to a good, and I'm using good, and I don't normally use good and bad. I don't like those terms. Okay. But if you went to a good Reiki practitioner, someone that you valued their work, let's just say, how about I put it in those terms? What would you expect? Because I have had Reiki done where nothing happened. And you could easily say, well, the energy was flowing. You didn't feel it at that time. That headache you had 30 days later, that was from that session.
I don't know if I
And
would say that.
I'm just saying, though, I've had people say that to me, and I'm going, I understand. That's actually possible. I'm not saying it isn't.
Yes, it is.
But at the same time, it just feels like, well, that headache you got 12 years later, that's from that one Reiki session. It finally came out. And I'm like, what does one expect when they go in, or what's some things that they can feel where they know this is doing something, because that will make someone want to come back.
So when you go to a Reiki session, and let me say this, I actually resonate with a lot of shamanic practices as well. So that's why when I incorporate my drumming and my, like the sage, I incorporate those different pieces from all of the different things that I've learned. So my Reiki session isn't just Reiki. It's got
Right,
all of that
right,
incorporated.
right.
But if you're to go to any Reiki practitioner, they're going to ask you about yourself. They're going to ask you about your pain. Do you have pain somewhere or something going on that I need to address specifically? Yes, I'm a psychic, but if you're coming to me for an energy session, is there a specific reason? Because I want to make sure I address it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then typically they have a table, although some will use a chair. I have a table. It doesn't matter. And you get to just lay there, close your eyes, and relax. The goal is typically pain relief. You may not feel anything during the session. You might not feel anything after. But how long did it take for your pain to return? Did it ease up while you were there? Did you notice changes over those next few days? Like you felt better in your mood. And sometimes it's just so subtle, like, oh, I felt better. I didn't think about it until I didn't feel better.
Right.
And what I've noticed in a session that happened last week, I had someone tell me after, she said, well, what happened was my pain got really intense and then it just released. And that was the first I had heard that back from someone.
Mm-hmm.
So pain relief is often a reason people want to get Reiki. And also some people just want that balancing in their chakras to make sure everything's good.
Yeah.
In my sessions, I will give you information. In most Reiki sessions, you're going to get the information given to you at the beginning. You're going to do the session and that's it. But in mine, typically I'm giving a little bit of reading because I get information.
Yeah, because you're getting that and you're channeling that. I can see that. So would Reiki, this is where they're wanting me to go. They're showing me the aura and holes in the aura. Okay. Like pockets of where the energy's not smooth. I've heard of this before. And I'm sure that also has something to do with the energy output of the chakras and everything. So Reiki helps because a lot of our vital energy can leave or escape in those. It's kind of like a hole in the ozone layer, if you will, in our aura.
We can have a rip or a tear or a hole in our aura and energy can leak out. So Reiki will scan. So first, when I go through a session, I kind of scan the body intuitively. And then I do have specific Reiki hand motions that I'll go through. One of my last steps is to step back, not my very last, and heal the aura, to remove the things from the aura and to repair any rips or tears in it. I don't always see a lot of rips and tears, and also I'm healing that regardless, always. I do often smooth energy before I even get to that aura part. So I'm often working through smoothing it as I go. And it's interesting because I'll use my wands for a lot of that smoothing of the energy. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Well, and it's just interesting because at this time, especially this year, like I said, there will be lots of opportunities. There's always a healing crisis going on with somebody somewhere. But in astrology, we look at pockets of energy, okay? And this year is going to hold some benevolent opportunities and some really focused energy around transmuting those misguided ways of seeing ourselves and our experiences. that's what the healing will take, that's how the healing will take place. And a lot of us are on the ascension and awakening journey. There are a lot of people right now that are reaching out to me who are just beginning this process, just as it was told to be. Okay, so they're going, oh my God, what's happening to me? It's bringing things to the surface, mentally, emotionally, in the psychological world. But there's also the physical components, symptoms of ascension that are going on right now, the backaches, the stiffness in the neck, the headaches, the throat tightness. There's a lot of where energy's trying to move out, energy's trying to purge. A lot of, they're going to tell me third eye stuff is really continuing and happening right now. A lot of people are becoming a lot more psychic, intuitive, just aware. The perception changes is automatically going to cause the shift in the third eye, and definitely digestive stuff that's going on. So with people going through ascension symptoms, or they've got things that are trying to purge from their system, is Reiki something that can assist them, and how?
Yes. Yes, Reiki is something that can assist that, because what Reiki helps do is those things that are struggling to move, that you're like, why can't this move or stop? Or it will help to move the energy. It is helping the flow of energy. So if something's not moving, it helps it to flow. This is something that I can do for myself every day. So some people come to get Reiki 1 attunements with me just to be able to put their hands on their body every day and send that life force energy. This revitalizes our life force energy. If our life force energy is not flowing, there is illness in the body. You are tired, you are exhausted. So the reason that if you've got these ascension symptoms going on and you're not sure how to fix it, getting the energy moving is important. Other ways to help heal and move energy: walking, yoga, breathing,
That
doing
was my
those
next
things is
question.
great too. And also, a Reiki session once a month is great. I tell people to come as you're guided. You know,
That's
it's
what I
not
tell
up to
people as well.
me to say when, but if that pain is coming back or you're struggling with that depression is often trauma leaving the system. You know, so let me help
Hard
you.
to hear that, but that's the truth. Yes. And for those people who are, chronically depressed or struggle with clinical depression and things like that, we're not saying that you're doing anything wrong,
No.
but for those of us like myself who have experienced depression situationally, it
Yes.
was that process. And the awakening, my spiritual awakening, it happened many times. There was layers. You don't just wake up one time. You wake up on a new level. It's like Mario. You just keep leveling up, okay? But sometimes you really do become, it's an awakening. It's a sudden, it's in a short period of time. You can call it this experience you had, and it can often lead to the dark night of the soul and to very heavy feelings in the body, lots of nightmares and really strange dreams, and feeling things aren't weird, and that depression lingers there, and you start to think, oh shit, I'm following these people on Instagram and it all sounds good, but what if I really need medication? So maybe energy healing can actually assist them in moving that energy quicker. I will tell you that moving the energy quicker can worsen it more, just like ripping off a Band-Aid. So we want to be very clear about that as well. When you go head first into your
Shit.
I said journey work. You go head first into your healing journey and you start to rip roots up. Be careful, you might rip some up that weren't ready yet, and it doesn't mean that that's not okay. It's just you're gonna feel it, the consequences of that. But usually we're ready for it, and if you're asking for it to happen quicker, sure, it will happen quicker. It's just something that's happening quicker or more abundantly is going to cause much more of a drama or a upsetting to the system, okay? So, which is what a lot of us are going through right now, because the energies that we're moving through in the galaxy right now, and the light codes and the solar storms, the Schumann resonance raising, all of that is working in tandem. It's actually all probably feeding off of each other. But this whole thing that's happening is causing an upheaval in most of us in certain ways. And there are rewards, okay? So Saturn rewards, and there are rewards for doing this work, and it's the lightening of the energy. It's the seeing things the new way. A lot of times you'll still have that thing, but it's almost like it's in another room. The depression is there, but I don't activate it. And so it's not like I can't not feel that. I'm a deeply feeling person. So of course I'm prone to feeling deep depression because I'm highly sensitive. I'm an empath, right? We're sensitive people. We're becoming more sensitive due to this ascension and awakening process. So that feeling of being sad is going to take on a deeper weight. But maybe the tendency to go there, it's waiting in another room. It's there because it's just part of you. If that's part of your process, there's shame and guilt. There's other things that people go through. So
I've seen a lot of people with enhanced depression recently.
me
And
too.
what I've found in myself, and trust me, y'all, Christopher's been there for this, but with my depression, where all my life I was treating it with medication or told it was clinical, mine is very much situational, and it's different for everybody. And this is a real thing. And if you're on medication for it, yay, yay.
Yeah.
I,
If
I support you.
it's working, who the hell are we to say
Yeah.
that you should not do that?
But more people are seeing it. And as I have gone along in my healing journey, I have not had to take medication for a year and a half. And there have been some hard situations where it was deep dark in there. Okay. So I am more prone to it in my healing process. I
Yes.
have to really call in my healers, you know?
Yes, and for those people, there are people watching that are going to say, "Well, I take medication. There's
Good.
nothing wrong with that." And I'm tired of these spiritual people bypassing me and telling me that I shouldn't be taking medication. This is a real thing. It is real. But I also, for those of you watching who are right on the edge, not right on the edge of doing anything, just right on the edge of, I'm doing the medication thing, but I actually would want it to be different. You know, I have someone in my family who's accepted it. This is how I treat it. This is my life, and is almost proud of it. Okay, and that's because she's put so much work into being okay. But there are other people who are doing it and it's not fully resonating, and they're just kind of going with the motions and they're trying it out. They still really feel like, could I do this? Is this something that I could actually heal in myself? And I have met people who have actually been on medication for years and years and years. And they've told me, I actually was on it for years and years and years because I was never able to move the energy, because when energy moves, there's brain components that allows that to embody itself in the body. Just like when you trauma, it's an experience and the brain imprints it in some way. Well, healing is the same way. And if the brain is being manipulated chemically in a certain way, then that transmutation can happen energetically, but it can't make its way to the physical as well or as quickly or at all sometimes for some people. And they have stopped or weaned off medication or stopped it and integrated other things, whether it was plant medicine or smoking weed. I've heard all kinds of shit in the years in health coaching and in spiritual work. And I have heard that a lot. Oh, I don't take medication anymore and I don't need it. And I haven't felt like that. I've been through severe healing. I did this instead. So I'm saying that is possible. And there are a lot of people who actually that is going to work for them, and that's part of the process right now. So but other people it may not be. So you just got to follow your intuition. And a lot of people watching are going to go, I hate when those spiritual people tell me to follow my intuition. Do they tell me that just because they don't have an answer for me? No, we tell you that because we have answers, but we've had to learn to follow our intuition, and we're still learning that. But when you get paid for it, it's a lot easier. You start going, I think those little subtle ideas, because sometimes they're not subtle, but even the subtle ones in my readings are spot on and right. Why aren't they right for me in my everyday life too? So we're telling you from experience that sometimes, like, I'll be driving down the street and I'll go, God, I don't know which way I should go to get back to the highway. And I'll actually feel heavier on a right or left side, and I'll just go with it. And I've been doing that for a few months now. This is new even to me. Like, and I'm not saying that's a superpower. I'm not doing it to control my life. I'm doing it to allow an ease of experience. Where before I would have wanted some kind of power to control, get me there faster. That's not really my intention. My intention is just, I don't want to have to pick up my phone, and I actually want to trust myself. It's not even about trusting angels or guides, which are there and they're a part of you. They're a part of your soul complex. But
You're part of those messages.
yeah, but it's trusting you. It's trusting you as the receiver too. So a lot of you are very much intuitive and you're not trusting it. And that's the process you're in right now. So Jessica, do you have anything else? Because I actually am really interested in getting Reiki now. I'm just like, you've sold me on it.
Well, you're in Atlanta and I'm here, so Reiki can be done at a distance. So I do not have to be in person for it. I can do it through Zoom, or I can do it, call you on the phone, have you lay down.
Are there benefits though to doing it in person?
Well, you get to be in my energy, and I'll play some really cool music, and I have a great space.
Well, I have a lot of clients who will say, "Oh, are your readings still the same, even though they're not in person?" For people who are outside of the Atlanta area, and they really are. I haven't noticed a difference, but I will tell you, I have noticed when I've done in-person readings, I have sensed more deeply certain things, but I think it's because I'm sitting in their aura. I'm picking up empathically things, but I still feel pain in my body. If someone's having pain somewhere, I'll feel it or I'll sense it even through the Zoom. So I'm just curious if you've ever.
In my readings and in my Reiki, I have no problem because I read all across, Hawaii, Connecticut, the UK, and I have no problem reading from a distance. Reiki has a specific symbol for distance healing. So that it is specific intention with that.
Cool.
The great thing though, when you come to me, like you're in that high vibe energy I'm sitting in that I set for my work only. So that's nice. And also not everybody wants to be at home, especially if you close the door and outside the door there are 3 screaming kids, because that does happen. And if you can't get out of that space, it's hard for you to relax.
Absolutely.
But what I am saying, like it is beautiful, it's relaxing, and why not? It either is going to do something really good or nothing at all, right? Can't do bad. So if you're looking for something different to get your system moving, to balance your chakras, to see if there's anything going on, because I'm reading the body at the same time. Hey, check into this. That then go check out Reiki or go check out an energy healing. And I love the healing work is my favorite. I use it.
If you're drawn to it, it's probably for a reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And especially like in the moon ceremonies, those end up like a journey. And I'm sure that flow of energy going. It's just.
And you're also assisted by that moon phase that you're in as well. Yeah, for sure. I can see that. Well, Jessica, what do you have going on this week?
Oh, this week. Let's see. What do I have going on this week? Well,
what don't you have going on this week?
No, I was like, what is happening this week? Well, this week I'm teaching Reiki this week. Next Monday, we have our intuitive work witch circle. We'll be doing mediumship every Monday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do have a full moon ceremony next week, but it is full, so I can't wait to see you guys.
Very good.
The spiritual goddess retreat is next Friday. I can't wait.
Yes.
I got some of the gifts in, and they are like sweet, beautiful, intimate crystals. I can't wait for them to go out to the ladies in the retreat. So
very cool.
If you all are interested in that retreat, I'm also booking the March retreat. So definitely reach out to me for that. And you know where to find me, thejessicatanzel.com. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at thejessicatanzel. Chris, what do you have going on this week?
Well, of course, you can book a reading with me at my website, www.chrystopherwithayMedium.com. You can find all kinds of information there and get a hold of me. Also, you should be following me on Instagram and TikTok as well at the@AstroMedium for daily astrological updates. I also am an ascension and awakening facilitator, so I put a lot of information on there, energy updates, so you know what symptoms are happening in the collective right now, what to expect, what's happening in the sky, how you can plan for these energies. And I also am an empath, and I'm very passionate about helping people who are empaths and highly sensitive people to own their gifts. And speaking of that, I work for Eclipse Over Roswell here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am their in-house intuitive astrologer, so I teach astrology every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join if you're in the Atlanta area, come into the store, but we also do it over Zoom. And if you go to eclipseoverroswell.com, you will find all of that information there. And I'm starting a new class coming up. It's actually it's a group. I'm going to call it a group, but it is a class as well. It'll be on Sunday evenings, so look out for that. It's called Empaths Anonymous. So it is a 12-step program for accepting your sensitivities, your gifts, expanding your abilities, and meeting with others. And we will be doing that over Zoom as well. So, all right, everybody. Jessica, is there anything else you want to say?
No, I hope you all have an amazing week, and we will be back Monday, 9:30 here for the Chronicles of Chiron, the Lion, the Witch, and the Healer.
That's right. Bye, Soulfire.
See you later.